Now at 10, Pittsburgh community leaders and members gathered to address housing needs. Plus,
construction on Block 22 is finished, but what do the business owners think about that? I have all that and more coming up.
And a change to a Missouri law has some parents concerned this Halloween.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
From residents to realtors to city leaders, Pittsburgh community members gathered this afternoon to focus on housing needs. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Today's meeting was an open house forum for the city and consulting firm Novogradic to gather community input on new housing needs for Pittsburgh. It's been 10 years since Pittsburgh last completed a housing needs assessment, and a lot has changed. City leaders asked participants to describe the current state of the housing market. They discussed housing-related needs and specific barriers preventing Pittsburgh from meeting those needs. One barrier, the current cost to build.
There's a problem with new construction because it's very expensive. A lot of buyers want into a new home but just can't quite pay the price that's required.
The consulting firm plans to take feedback from today's open house and conduct surveys on local housing stock and eventually put together a new housing assessment recommendation. The scaffolding along Block 22 in Pittsburgh is no longer wrapped around businesses. It was pushed there to prevent accidents from falling cement. Businesses say it looks much better and customers are returning, but that wasn't the case during construction. KOIM's Lonnie Walton takes us to downtown Pittsburgh for the story.
In the month of September, my business was down 53%, which is a lot.
Melissa Lewis is the owner of Poppy May. She says she's got a lot of help with her business during the Block 22 construction, but she says she's still suffering.
No one can make up for the loss that we experienced as small business owners with that much going on.
Co-owner of Toast, Roger Horton, says some customers didn't even know they were open.
You see all that scaffolding up, unless you see 5 people walk in, why would you know it's open, So
not only did it put strain on a lot of businesses, parking was another issue.
The hassle of, well, I got to find a parking space around the corner because all the spaces are filled up with construction work.
Students who live on a block say they love the open space.
Feels pretty good because parking's back and everything.
But now it's open and the sunlight's shining down on the open door.
And Lewis leaves us with a few words of wisdom.
You want small businesses to stay in your community, you have to support them. You have to shop them.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Lewis says she'll participate in various community activities to bring more business to her store. It's been warm. It's going to stay warm a bit longer. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, another warm day for us today, well above our average high, 68 degrees. Our high was 82. Not as warm as yesterday, but it was up there, 53 during the morning hours. Record high 86, set back just 2 years ago. 63 in Joplin and Pittsburgh. We do have a few little clouds starting to pop up, but comfortable at least. It's a light breeze. Most of us are sitting into the mid 60s right now. We're going to continue with this easterly wind 5 to 10, upwards of 15 as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Clouds will start to pop up, especially after midnight. We have a weak little wave just to our west that is going to push in. As it does so, we'll get some clouds after midnight and we could get a few spotty little showers. Not a big deal, but there are going to be a few little showers out there. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. Also, thunderstorm chances in the forecast. We'll look at that here in a bit.
See you soon. Joplin High School students will get the chance to experience what it means to cast their vote come Election Day. The high school's student council is creating a mock ballot that has the same candidates, same questions as the Missouri ballot. On Election Day, the students will go to a polling location within the school to cast their votes. While the votes do not actually count, teachers say it can help students get excited come Election Day.
Our job at the end of the day is to make sure that we are preparing students to be engaged citizens in an age of information, readily available information at your fingertips.
We learned at the school that whatever way the students vote usually tends to align with the outcome of the election. This Halloween, registered sex offenders in Missouri will no longer be required to post a sign stating, quote, "no candy or treats at this residence." The signs were previously part of a statute that also required sex offenders to avoid Halloween contact with children, remain in their homes from 5 to 10:30 p.m., and leave all outside residential lighting off that night. But a U.S. district judge ruled this month that the sign requirement violates the First Amendment by forcing compelled speech. The Jasper County Sheriff's Department says it has a resource on its website that might help families feel better about where they trick or treat this year.
But required by Megan's Law, all that information is public knowledge, so they can literally go on to and see every sex offender in Jasper County and see where they live.
This year's change to Missouri's law does have at least some parents concerned. One mother we spoke with says it's taking away an additional protection for children. Joplin Health Department held a free car seat safety class. They taught the class how to choose the right car seat for the child's height, also how to choose a safe car seat brand. The class was open to all parents, grandparents, child caregivers to learn the correct way to place a child in a car seat, especially in the winter months when a child might be bundled up.
Hook them into their car seat with no extra padding or blankets around them, and then put the blankets, tuck them in around them once they've been belted into the seat belt of the car seat.
During the winter months, he also recommends putting the child in the car seat harness, then putting their coat on backward on the outside of the harness. The group One Joplin gave people a chance to experience a poverty simulation today. That story's coming up. Plus, emergency crews and officials at the Joplin Regional Airport stage an emergency exercise today. The organization One Joplin hosted a poverty simulation today. It gave anyone who wanted it the opportunity to experience a simulated month of living in a low-income situation. Now, in this simulation, every 15 minutes represented a week of living in poverty. The participants were given a family situation, and then based on that, they had to navigate everyday life, like, say, budgeting for groceries and transportation. More than 80 people participated in the event.
You can help individuals to prosper in our community and ask questions, be empathetic about what their situation is, but also talk to policymakers, to our city council members, and talk to them about barriers that we may have in front of our low-income individuals.
Going forward, the organizers hope to make this an annual event. The Joplin Regional Airport today held a full-scale emergency response exercise. The event simulated a real-life emergency and lasted several hours. KOAM photojournalist Ty Park shows us why organizers say this training puts them on the same level of safety as a bigger metropolitan airport.
Today we're doing our full-scale mass casualty. It's one of the requirements that we need to maintain our Part 139 certification so that we can have commercial traffic here at Joplin. The event is that there's going to be, the plane takes off, it's having some engine problems and some hydraulic issues, and so they contact a tower and do an alert 2. That means that there's a plane in the air and that there's a problem, that then the fire department can get on the way and be waiting here when they get down rather than crash and then have to wait for people. So if the plane's not in too dire distress, it'll circle, get all the firemen and ambulances, everything in place, and then be here hoping that it's going to land safely. In this incident, we're planning that it's not going to. It's going to go down, but we're going to be here staging. We're going to go out. We're going to deal with the simulated fire around the wing. It's a practice so that if there are some issues in this, we find the issues now before there actually is an event. Like, are we not being able to communicate with the tower? Stuff like that. Like, different things come up, and so we try to practice these fake mass casualties so that we're ready when the actual thing happens.
What we exercised was we had our fire units arrive on the scene, and their main primary objective was to locate every passenger that was on the airplane and triage those passengers, determine what their medical status is, correctly type that status so that we could get the patients that had the worst injuries off the airfield into a hospital faster. And then also maintain accountability of all those passengers so that we know that we've got every person that was on that aircraft accounted for.
You know, that we are being as proactive and, you know, taking the fact that we take their lives very seriously, and we take that the fact that they're flying through Joplin, they're coming in and out, and we take that seriously every day. We're trying to maintain that, you know, you feel just as safe flying in here as you do LAX. Like I said, because we're held to the same standards of them.
A little later, drought and dry conditions in the 4 states leads to an increase in burn ban.
But thankfully, we have some thunderstorm chances in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. Temperatures still warm, still into lower 80s for afternoon highs. And we're going to be even warmer as we go into tomorrow. Great shot. This is our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Clear skies right now. We will get some clouds in here as we get a little bit deeper into the night. Temperatures near 60 northern counties, and you got mid 60s, still 71 in Bentonville. 7th and Range Line sitting at 63 at this point in time. And we have a light easterly wind. These winds are going to start switch out of the south as we get into Thursday. In return, what that will do for you is warm those temperatures up even more. Plus, it's going to be windy. We're going to have winds gusting 20, 25, 30, maybe upwards of 35 at times. Then another cold front drops through as we go into Friday. So then they go out of the north. Still kind of breezy as we get into Friday afternoon. So if we look at our wind forecast, this is a trash can knocked over type of situation. You may want to watch that if your trash a day is in the next 24 hours or so. Also some rain chances. Now, later on tonight, a few random little showers will pop up into tomorrow morning. As we go into Thursday night, scattered thunderstorms trying to push in closer to midnight tomorrow night. That's really our best chances for rain that we have seen in about a month across the region. Right now we look fine. Nothing's going on. We have a weak wave just to our west, and those clouds will start to thicken just a little bit after midnight. Let's stop at about 5:30 in the morning. You can see a couple hit and miss little showers popping up into the morning hours. Most of you will stay dry. Partly sunny skies. We warm into lower 80s by the time we get to the noon hour. As we go into the afternoon, near record highs, 87, 88, 89 degrees across the region. So it is going to be hot. All right, tomorrow night, so let's go to 9 p.m. About 24 hours from now, we have a cold front that is going to be working into our western counties. Some of these storms could be a little bit stronger, maybe even low-grade severe. If there was anything strong or severe, we're talking about gusty winds and some large hail. These storms will weaken as they push in, and they will be scattered. That means not everybody will get rain, but wherever these storms do form, they'll drop some heavier amounts of rain, which we will take. Storms push into the region. Here's midnight getting to the I-44 corridor. Again, scattered. They will weaken as they push in, and then any leftover showers should be out of here as they continue to weaken by the time we get into Friday morning. Friday afternoon, back to the northerly wind, a little bit cooler, upper 70s for afternoon highs. Here's your day planner on Thursday. Random shower to start, 62, 81 by noon, 87. By 4 p.m., plenty of sunshine once we get into the afternoon. Let's jump ahead. Here's Friday night, 4-state high school football hoodie weather again as we sit into the 60s. Another fantastic night for high school football. We haven't had one Friday night that has had rain this season. Pretty much because it hasn't rained in 2 months. All right, 87 on Thursday, 78 Friday, 74 on Saturday. Then rain chances, better chances the second half of next week. And I promise the pattern's picking up over the next month, so rain chances will pick up as well.
I hope so. We need some. Those farm really ponds, those lawns, those gardens, the fields are too dry.
Yep.
Thanks, Doug. The ongoing drought in the 4 states, in fact, has led to a number of burn bans intended to cut down on grass and wildfires. As Nicolette Zangaro reports, it's gotten to the point where one southwest Missouri county has changed its responses to wildfires in order to keep them under control.
We're at the point where it's so dry, Polk County has changed our protocols so multiple fire departments respond on each grass fire, just because we are so dry and so big so fast.
Fire Chief Brent Watkins says it's more than just loss of property or, in worst cases, life. It's also using resources from other departments to keep these fires contained.
The burned area you see behind me is located near an entrance ramp near Aldrich Road in Bolivar. This happened on Tuesday. The fire department is not sure what caused the fire, but all it takes with vegetation this dry is the flick of a cigarette butt out the window that hasn't fully been put out yet. That's what starts and spreads fires like this.
It's not like we have green grass and just the leaves burning. They're both dry, so they're both going to burn very fast.
Missouri state law says in order for a county to issue a burn ban, the drought monitor must be D2, a severe drought, or worse. Additionally, the county commission must contact the state's Division of Fire Safety. These regulations are very different for fire protection districts in smaller communities.
If you're a fire protection district, like a tax-based fire protection district or a municipal fire department, there's no need to contact our office. Those organizations have the power to enact burn bans anytime they want.
If you violate the burn ban, you could receive up to a Class A misdemeanor.
Still ahead, Colgan girls golf brings home a state championship, and McDonald County and Webb City volleyball square off in the district playoffs. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
The Colgan girls high school golf team takes home a state championship this week after a two-day tournament in Emporia. Colgan finished tied with Silver Lake. The two of them each have exactly 718 team strokes. That forces a playoff, which the Lady Panthers win to give them the Class 3-1A state title. This is Colgan's third golf state championship in the last 4 years. Colgan actually trailed Caney Valley after the first day, 2 strokes behind. The Bullpups still, though, finished top 5, coming in at 5th place. Here's a look at the individual leaderboard. Amelia Bowles from Rawlins County takes home first place, 1 stroke ahead of Margaret Ulrich from Wichita Collegiate. Colgan has 2 top 12 finishers, Ava Skripsik and Daniela Yagmore. Molly Swayze and Lauren O'Brien also finish in the top half of the field. Addison Coombs and Kate Smith finish in 42nd and 49th place, respectively. High school volleyball district tournament play continues this week. McDonald County and Webb City square off this evening. One of them will have their season come to an end. Class 4 District 6 volleyball tournament over in Springfield. 1 seed Webb City takes on McDonald County. Quarterfinal round. Mustangs won last night against Parkview. Cards already up 1 set to nothing. We start in the second. Long rally, and Jaylee Rutledge slams it down for the kill. Cardinals take the second set easily as well. They're up 2-0. In the third, Webb City on the serve. Check this out. Savannah Crane gets the ace there. Then again on the second try, puts it where the Mustangs can't find. 3 aces in a row from Crane. Cardinals running away with it. Skipping ahead, Mustangs, this time they do get to the serve. They rally, but it's Crane right near the net, spikes it down for the kill. Webb City sweeps McDonald County in straight sets and moves on to the semifinals Friday. Well, the Chiefs make some news early this morning. They're already starting the season 6-0. Now they add a big-name wide receiver to their roster. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Chiefs are finalizing a trade with the Titans to acquire DeAndre Hopkins for a 5th-round draft pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. That pick could reportedly become a 4th rounder if Kansas City makes the Super Bowl and Hopkins plays at least 60% of the team's offensive snaps. Hopkins is a 5-time All-Pro wideout. 2024 is his 12th season in the NFL. He accumulated over 1,000 receiving yards with the Titans a year ago, but that production has gone down early in this season. Through 6 games, Hopkins has 15 catches, 173 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown with Tennessee. Then over in college football, tough news for Mizzou fans today. The Tigers' leading rusher, Nate Noel, was reportedly out for this Saturday's top 20 matchup on the road at Alabama. That's according to ESPN's Pete Thamel. Noel is dealing with a foot injury. He's averaging just under 6 yards per carry so far this season. He left last week's game against Auburn in the first half, came back to get just 1 carry in the second half. And Alabama on the road, you think that's definitely a tough game. They're coming off losses, though, in 2 of their last 3 games. So it should still be interesting to see what kind of fight the Tigers put up.
We'll find out soon enough, I guess. We'll be right back. Anyone looking to learn about this spooky time of year need look no further than Cody Holmes. Holmes is a 4th grade teacher in Parsons, Kansas, who brings the Halloween spirit to his school. Look at this. This is in the school. Besides decorating his home every year, Holmes also decorates what they call a haunted stage for all the elementary school students to tour.
Spooky and scary things seem more fun to students and kids instead of spooky and scary, and you put that all together and it just works with me.
I think it works for most people, and certainly for little kids. Holmes has been collecting animated and decorative Halloween decor for years, as you might imagine. He says it can take weeks to haul all the items into the school and set up that haunted stage, but it looks to me like it's probably worthwhile. I'm sure those kids had a great time.
But they do.
The weather's going to stay warm a bit longer.
Yeah, random shower late tonight into tomorrow morning. Near record highs 87, but thunderstorm chances rolling in tomorrow night, which we need because with thunderstorms you get pockets of heavier rain. 78 on Friday, 74 on Saturday, 80 on Sunday.
Final sports note.
The Oklahoma City Thunder begin their regular season tomorrow night on the road at Denver.
That's exciting. It's already that time of year.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.